Daily Planet. I'm Natasha Stillwell.
And I'm Jay Ingram. On the program, there is more to cheerleading than meets the eye.
And we've got all kinds of Super Bowl stories coming your way. And what better way to kick off the show than with the science of cheerleading?
Wait a minute. I know what you're thinking. Where is the science in this? Well, there isn't any. But this is another story. You won't see these moves at any NFL game. This is called power cheerleading.
Today's power cheerleading is really a dynamic blend of biomechanics, gymnastics, acrobatics, flipping, twisting, tossing, throwing, catching of humans. And every day is like an applied physics class. Last week was pretty good, but this week we want to step it up a little bit.
David Lee Tracy coaches this squad of athletes from the University of Western Ontario. Well, they're not here at the practice gym. They're performing at college football games, basketball games, and at cheerleading competitions across North America. And yes, they are athletes.
You can take anybody off the street, become an NFL cheerleader. You can't take anybody to become part of this team. You have to be highly skilled and strong.
As a trained gymnast and a 4-year veteran of this team, Nicole Meyer sees very few similarities between herself and the average Raiderette.
It's nothing like you think. They make money, we don't. We do the big tricks.
And 1, 2, 3, save! Okay, right around, pull, boom, catch, and stick it. Girl never touches the ground.
But before they do the big tricks, they have to safely learn the basics.
It's very simple and very controlled, but you're just going to look at her center of gravity, basically look at her middle, follow it, catch it high, initiate the catch, and sink with the legs, and just place her on the ground. The tops or the females have to learn all the rotational physics in a static environment first, on a stationary platform on the ground. They need to be able to understand where their center of gravity is going to be, where their rotation is going to take their body at all times. The bases, or the males, similarly need to train to understand where the rotating body is going to be at in space.
For some students, this is actually an extension of what they're learning in class.
Next up.
As a kinesiology major, C.J. Pugh knows all about biomechanics.
So if you can think in a biomechanical way, it makes learning it easier. If you can talk about center of gravity and moments of inertia and force and all this kind of stuff, it makes you understand why we do certain things.
Okay, guys, totally stick your catches. Don't just put them down sloppy. Stick, control, set out.
After reviewing the fundamentals, the team moves onto the mats to practice aerial maneuvers. One of the big tricks is called the basket toss.
Okay, what we're going to be doing on the basket toss is the bases want to sink down nice and low, keep the implement, the girl, close to their center of gravity, and they drive through strong with the legs and apply the force over a long period of time.
What the long period of force allows us to do is throw Nicole as hard as possible, shrugging up through our shoulders, flicking right at the very top. Most times we'll leave the ground completely so that we can throw her even longer. This gives us the maximum force possible.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to completely resist against them and wait for that top or their flick. I'm going to set myself, double, realize where I am in the air, open up, and cradle down. Piece of cake.
Sure, it's a piece of cake, as long as they remember to catch you.
Important things when we're catching. Catch nice and strong. We want to make sure that if we're catching, and we're the only ones here, we can still catch her. Okay, she's got a nice grip around us. She's doing as much catching as we are. All right, nice hard pike position, catching at her legs. If we were to let go, she can still hold herself up here.
They get in big trouble if they drop us, but I'm confident with my skills, so I believe in them as well to catch me.
If you just look at one individual act, you go, oh my goodness, that is the craziest thing I've ever seen. That is dangerous, that's nuts. But what you don't see is the hundreds and hundreds of hours that go into the preparation to make the maneuver completely safe. Good job.
Tracy's been coaching teams like this for 20 years. No one has ever been seriously injured, though there are plenty of bumps and bruises.
Right there. That's top of his head. Sometimes if I go a little crooked, they don't react to my body. Oops. Just a couple bumps and bruises, that's all. No broken bones.
When Isaac Newton wrote about bodies in motion, this is probably not exactly what he had in mind. Nevertheless, his laws of motion come into play with every toss.
It's It's not always about how small the top person is. It's usually how strong the top person is. But she needs to be able to oppose the force. For every action, there's an equal opposite reaction. So you could have all the power in the world coming up underneath you, but if the girl can't force down against it and oppose it and maximize it or sum the forces together, then it's just going to misfire.
No danger of that here. There's plenty of power on display.
The stronger the core of our women are, the better the tricks are going to be. Come on, give us some juice there, guys. Yeah, you know what you're doing.
And they need every one of those muscles to pull off the next big trick.
Guys, now that you all warmed up, it is helicopter time.
The helicopter is the name of the team's signature move. All 18 squad members must work together to create a flying ring of bodies.
Obviously, we want to retain the integrity of the ring. As it spins, your theoretical center of rotation is the position outside of your bodies and in the middle of the entire ring. But if you let go of that ring, you're going to fly off on the rotational tangent that you're on. So you'll fly out of the circle into a less than safe environment.
Everyone hangs on for a safe ride. Complex moves like the helicopter have paid big dividends for this team. They've won the National Cheerleading Championship every year for the past 18 years.
Our win-loss record is outstanding, but it really all comes back to the basic application of biomechanics and physics and understanding the sport from a mechanical perspective and then taking it from there. Okay, guys, that's a wrap. Bring it on in. Let's go. Remember, you got practice Tuesday, Thursday. 6 teams this week. Let's stay healthy. Eat your vegetables. Ready? 1, 2, 3, start!
Coming up, telling